Hello and welcome back to the Hitbox European Championship. I'm going to speed. This time around, I'm going to be joined by Mike Loris for game number 3 of Scary Faces versus Hehe United.
I just caught the end of that last one, but I think we could see what happens when you have a Sven that gets really big and you have overall a very explosive draft. So yeah, he definitely getting away with that one, but we have a Leshrac on the field, so this game is going to already be slanted towards Scary Faces pretty much no matter what he decide to pick.
Yeah, for sure. If you're going to give away the Leshrac, however, getting the Gyrocopter and Bounty Hunter in trade is probably about as good as it gets. But yeah, game number 1, really convincing for Scary Faces. A lot of that comes down to Hehe United going for another really risky draft, and the Draw Ranger lineup didn't work out for them at all. Sven in the second game was actually pretty interesting how they played it. They started things off by trying to roam in the mid lane. Sven used like 5 minutes of the early game just trying to look for kills, and then eventually they settled him into a farming role. And once Cube was allowed to farm, he just kind of went off. So we'll have to see how this game plays out. We're going to start things off with an Earthshaker to follow that Leshrac for Scary Faces. A little bit static coming out from your end of the mic. Is there any way you can sort that out?
Well, we'll just try to recall it if it's not working. It's always breaking when you don't touch it, so.
Fair enough. It's not terrible. It sounds like it's auto-adjusting.
Okay, well then maybe it'll figure out what's going on in just a little bit.
Let's try recall.
Maybe. Okay.
Alrighty, well that happens. Winter Wyvern is going to be banned out by Hehe United, and Scary Faces will go ahead and ban out the Darkseer.
Alright, there we go.
Much better.
That should be better?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, Shaker Leshrac. I don't know what Hehe United are going to be doing about this mid lane. Versus Leshrac 1v1, it gets really bad versus Leshrac and Shaker. That is, without a doubt, the most dangerous place you could find yourself in as a mid lane. With no IO available, the only chance to run some sort of dual lane will be like a weird Skywrath Mage Lich +1 setup. And outside of that, man, I don't know what you could actually put there. I think they're going to have to go for like a super defensive mid laner, like a Viper or something like that, or just concede the mid lane, and that's a hard sell.
Yeah, it really is. I think they're going to be more inclined to go for something like that Viper that you're mentioning, but even Viper isn't 100% safe against Leshrac Shaker. It's just that scary.
Well, if they do decide to, get a weaker mid laner, just put a random Storm Spirit or Wind Ranger in there and just say good luck, have fun. And they have to focus to their other lanes. Gyrocopter would really do well with a Rubik pick right now from Hehe, especially if this is going to be a 4-position roaming bounty hunter. Being able to grab Shaker's Fissure or any of Leshrac's skills as Rubik and being with Gyrocopter is big game. So looking at that one for them, maybe a Clockwork as well, or that.
Ooh, it's a Silencer. Hehe United, I think this is going to be a mid lane Silencer. It does okay against Lesh, but isn't stellar by himself. They're going to need some other hero to apply pressure there. Bounty Hunter might be that hero, but Scary Faces should have sentries in the mid lane. It's going to be very difficult to pull that off. If anything, I think they should have left the Silencer pick till later. It feels like they're showing their hand a little early.
Yeah, maybe they're going to get a little bit lucky with the sentries, and maybe they'll be able to destroy the Scary Face sentries before Scary Faces destroys Hehe's, if that is going to come down to it. Just in the static lane matchup, Silencer versus Leshrac, you said it's not the worst lane for Silencer, but it is very close to it once you add the Shaker on top of it. And though they do have quite a bit of damage towards just a Leshrac, it is really just going to be how many free hits can Silencer get off on the Leshrac without Leshrac being able to return fire. That's where the Glaives of Wisdom comes into play. That's where just positioning in the mid lane comes into play as well. So it is a good hero to have in the mid-late game stages up against Leshrac, with just with that global silence. But the hard part is obviously getting there. And if this is going to be a support Silencer, I just don't know if I like that in general.
It weakens up their lanes a lot if it's a support Silencer, and I don't see another way that they run it, especially since it was picked up third. If they are going to put the Silencer elsewhere safely and farm him, would this be a support Gyro? I don't think there's another way to do it.
Yeah, it seems like all the other options would just be really, really bad, at least worse than what you're doing with the Silencer. So we'll see what he actually want to do with this one. Maybe just try to out-team fight the Leshrac, even if he does get a little bit farmed. Try to catch him in some sort of burst combination with Call Down, with the Silence, and just limit their options, or limit Scary Face's options moving forward. The Clockwork is still in the pool and would be great for either side, but no, it's a Lion instead for Scary Faces. They have a lot of stuns. They have a lot of stuns.
Absolutely. Lion Shaker combination is always a little bit awkward when it comes to zoning out offlaners, however, so Hehe United are going to get a little bit of space in that respect. Um, hmm. But who would that offlaner be? Darkseer's been banned, Tusk has been banned, and Clockwork, I'm not sure if it really fits Hehe's lineup very well. It's nice to have global sounds to back up a Clockwork initiation. It's really good to have Clock against Shaker. But once he initiates and once he commits, there's so much damage.
Oh,
Ooh! Okay, I've wanted to see this forever. Cube plays
yep.
Pudge in his pubs all the time. It's his most played hero. He plays it in his ranked pubs a lot, and he's amazing at the hero. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so as much as I love Pudge, is that the correct pick right here? I was thinking Phoenix for the offlane for he, like Scareface is not really super willing to right click in that fight, and if you're silenced and you have to run away from Supernova, then things get pretty dangerous. But we have a Pudge. Doesn't seem like there's any synergy with the Pudge. Like there's no setup into Hook, which is always nice. If you have a Fissure with Pudge, then you're golden or something around those lines. If you do land a hook on one of these Scareface's heroes, they are super fragile. You'll probably be able to get the kill either way. But how is Cube actually, or how is Pudge actually going to be played here? Especially now with an Ember Spirit who's a little bit Pudge resistant.
Yeah, a little bit Pudge resistant by himself, but when you have a global silence to back it up, maybe not so much. It's going to be a difficult game for the Ember Spirit, and Scary Faces need to make sure that they constantly have map vision up. Hehe United are going to be playing a very control-based game. If they can get map control, get some vision out on the map, the synergies with their heroes, although not direct, you get track vision up to set up for hooks, and then you have mass stat steal. Not necessarily steal for the Pudge, but you can gain a lot of int if Hehe start rolling. It's going to be a very difficult game for them to play, and I think that's something that's been consistent throughout all of their drafts. It's very performance based.
It is also worth noting that this is the third game of an elimination game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what Hehe are putting all their faith into, this Pudge. And gotta love the balls on them, but yeah, we'll see if it actually works out. Phantom Assassin actually going to get the ban out. That's a kind of weird one. I mean, Phantom Assassin is pretty good at just assassinating these softer heroes on Hehe's side, but it seems like Scary Faces are looking for the off lane, not another safe laner.
The lanes coming up from Hehe are very weak, just innately. Gyrocopter is a great laner by himself, but I don't feel that there's another support here that's going to be amazing for them. And whenever you pick up a Pudge, that is one of the biggest weaknesses with him, let alone his very hit or miss nature. It's just that your lanes are going to suffer, and I don't think this game is going to be any exception. This could be another offlaner for Hehe, it could be another support. There are a lot of different ways that they could shuffle around these heroes.
They could just grab that Wind Ranger that I mentioned before and just keep the Scary Faces side guessing. Because if you have like Wind Ranger, Pudge, Silencer, three heroes who could very easily go to the mid lane, hell, even play lighter support roles. So maybe that in and of itself will give Scary Faces a little bit of pause. Obviously, Hehe know where this Pudge is going, but it's not really going to be a common prediction. At least not from our seats. We have no idea where this Pudge is. I think most of the time, he's. I don't see Pudge in mid lane.
No.
That's usually just for pubs.
Cube plays offlane Pudge inside most of his games as well, so I'd expect that to be the place where they go for it. Now, Shadow Shaman and Broodmother the picks. Brood has no answers this game. Gyrocopter's okay. Shadow Shaman's okay. They might be able to catch a hook onto the Brood, but if Ramses has a good time in lane, which he very well should, I could see him completely balling out of control. Scary Face's lineup is by every way, shape, and form more reliable and probably better, but if Hehe United snowball, they could also take this to victory. As with most Pudge picks, all eyes on the Pudge. If he performs, Hehe United could still win.
Yeah, I think Scary Face's draft is probably better, but Hehe's draft is more awesome. So,
Yes.
I don't know how much you evaluate on the awesome scale, but if you have a Pudge, you're probably going to win the awesome race, just innately. That's just how this game works. I don't think it's actually ever going to be possible to land a hook on the Broodmother. Just fan out the Spiderlings freaking everywhere, have a Spiderling follow the Pudge, and then he will just not be able to get that much done. It is worth noting that there is track on the other end, so Broodmother's invid, at least to escape, is not going to be as secure as it might usually be, but still, yeah, this Broodmother doesn't really have much AoE to deal with on the other end, and the heroes on Hehe's side are overall pretty soft.
Yep. Let's introduce our lineups. On the Radiant side is Hehe. They're going to have HWA playing on the Gyrocopter Nihiz, on the Shadow Shaman Klesinki, on the Silencer Cube on his Pudge, and Bounty Hunter by MDL.
And for Scary Faces, Ramses with the scariest face is going to be playing the Broodmother, and, well, maybe we don't have time to look at everyone. Seems like they're not going to go into the Gyrocopter. Never mind. Eknart is going to be on the Shaker. We got a new player who's going to be going mid as the Leshrac, with Shadowy on the line, at least State 21 on the safe lane farming Ember Spirit. So it is going to be, that off-lane Pudge you were talking about before. Silencer as a support, Shadow Shaman as a support. These are kind of awkward supports. Shadow Shaman extremely clunky, as is Silencer, really. And the really strength of Silencer as a support is that you get to freely poke the enemy off lane.
Silencer. He's mid.
Oh.
It's support Bounty and support Shaman.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, never mind then. Shadow Shaman, he is also going to want to poke, but not really possible up against the Broodmother.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, these lanes for hehe, it's going to be Silencer versus Lesh. We kind of already touched on it. It's a pretty bad lane for Silencer, but for now, hehe can still look to trade some blows with the Leshrac. But once level 3, level 5 come out for the Lesh, the amount of Lightning Storm damage is just overwhelming.
Right now, Lion is going to be joining the Lesh, at least delivering the healing salve, playing a little bit of anti-bounty hunter role there. But bottom lane, Ramses, this is pretty much what you'd expect from a level 1 Broodmother. They can, in theory, see her, but she's in the trees.
They do see her. Just barely. Now with Rock Barrage damage, they'll be able to kill off this Brood First Blood for hehe. That was so close.
Just dig through the trees. Eventually, you're going to find a spider, and Broodmother, well, if she's in that situation, if any hero's in that situation stuck in the trees, yeah, there's not really that much they can do. Your options are fairly limited, but it's okay that Broodmother dies once or twice. If you do get your experience, if you do get that Spiderling army up, then you'll be able to really put the hurt onto the Bounty Hunter, the Shadow Shaman, who, again, will have no real answer to this Brood. But Ramses goes right back into this corner, and I don't really know if this Broodmother would really like to stay there.
This is a better corner. No sentries in this one, and they don't have enough tangos, but, well, another sentry dropped, and they're going to search for her. I don't think they're going to find her. Ramses has found himself a nice little nook. He'll get experience, but that's about it. They're trying for it so hard. If they had another tango, they might bump into him. Oh no, they catch vision! Ramses is going to be caught out. They have another shackles, and this is going to be another death through Spider-Man.
And I don't think I've ever seen a Broodmother getting hunted down this aggressively. They don't even have, like, great heroes at killing off the Broodmother, even if they do see her, yet they've found her twice. And I'm pretty sure Ramses isn't expecting that either. He has a Soul Ring recipe, which obviously means he wants to get as fast a Soul Ring as possible, yet he has to slow down for clarity. Now he's, well, doesn't even have another TP. So this Broodmother already set back pretty far. He used 2 sentries, get 2 kills, which is usually not the case. Usually it's use a couple sentries, get nothing. Up towards top, Cube in a little trouble. Gets hexed up. There's no spike here from the Lion. He does have a way to walk through the trees. Ember Spirit has no Sleight of Fist. One more right click from the Lion. That's going to get the kill. The Pudge, with not a ton of armor, is going to drop on the top lane.
Even though the Broodmother is the one to die twice, she's still getting more experience in this Pudge. She's been boxed out completely from this lane, and that's kind of to be expected. I don't think Cube's going to be getting very much from this lane, if anything at all. Maybe a little bit of experience here and there, and he'll finally find himself level 2, which will help. But Pudge, as an offlaner, doesn't have any great way to abuse creep equilibrium. He can't trade hits very effectively with supports, and unless he gets a kill, hardly ever finds himself in a lane advantage.
It's kind of similar to an offlane Shaker. They're both melee and really awkward in that offlane. Don't have much in the way of lane control, but they're just there for the levels. Once you get maxed out in that meat hook, or hell, even just level 6 for the Dismember, then you could actually roam around and do arguably more damage than an offlane Shaker, at least have potentially more of an impact. So that's pretty much the game plan here for Cube. I was going to say that having the Shaker as the only hero to zone out the Pudge is not really that great, but it looks like the Lion is going to rejoin this lane and actually make it a significant threat, especially now that he's level 2, the Lion. Having Spike and Hex just makes a world of difference compared to just Hex.
I think he's doing quite well in the mid lane, however, up against the Leshrac is actually out-CSing him. Not by a lot, but a little bit, and that counts for a lot more than it does in other lanes. Leshrac, by default, usually wins every single one.
Leshrac hasn't had any help just yet. You wouldn't expect the Leshrac to necessarily need a lot of help, but yeah, he's getting poked at by the last word. He's taking a couple of glaives here and there. And they both have their bottles, or at least they should have their bottles working pretty consistently, but new player now might be stalked by MDL. I don't think this Bounty Hunter can do much versus Leshrac, but what he can do is harass the crap out of this Lion. This is not a damage trade that Shadowy is going to win.
MDL won't be able to get this kill, but he is going to apply a lot of pressure, and the Lion has no HP sustain, so if MDL has another Invis, maybe he can even poke him again, but it's risky when the Leshrac is right around the corner. Fissure up towards top on the cube, trying to box him out from experience even further. This Pudge is struggling to get level 3, and even if he does get level 3, he's going to be up against a level 5 Ember Spirit. Although Ember Spirit traditionally does pretty poorly in lanes, I think he does quite well against Pudge.
Yeah, and at this point, Ember Spirit is going to be more than happy to get into a fight with that Pudge. You know, outside of that level advantage, obviously, but level 3 Searing Chains or level 3 Shield and Pudge is more or less, or Ember Spirit rather, is more or less immune to that Pudge at that point. Mid lane, new player, gonna drop pretty low. Here come the Glaives. Lightning's gonna bounce to MDL, gonna throw the Split Earth. Spike will miss from Shadowy, yet new player will survive, and for Scary Faces, that's fine. They don't have to get that kill. They will just keep on bottling up. All the new players still sticking around. MDL, okay, not gonna go in, but now he's spotted. Pulse Nova on, and he's gonna burn.
Easy kill for Leshrac. Nothing else needed. He's going to throw out another Lightning Storm, which is going to do quite a lot of damage, and another Glaive hit, and he's down below 100 HP. Leshrac's probably going to be going all the way back to base after this, and Silencer's still doing fine by himself, but you never really want to be feeding Leshrac kills. It's never good. Silencer's still out-leveling the Leshrac ever so slightly, though, so I think this mid lane is a win for Hehe by no other... what can you call it? And Gyrocopter is farming down bottom lane, even though the Broodmother is getting pretty much unimpeded experience after those 2 deaths. She's still also not farming that well, outside of getting these Spiderling CS.
She'll get there, though. She's already, 19 CS, which is a hell of a lot more than this Pudge, who is actually smoked up and looking for mid Shadowy. Needs some sick juice. He's actually going to go for new player instead. There's the Hex, trying to buy new player a little bit more space. Spike is available. Hook will be thrown. Will connect onto Shadowy. That was pretty easy, but now there's a Fissure, and Cube's taking rot damage for himself. Will die to the Split Earth. Silencer's going to grab the Lion Kill in the meantime. Takes a Lightning Strike to the face. It looks like it's so far a 1-for-1, and everyone else should be backing off. New player taking another last word proc, and MDL kind of wants to come in, but if he crosses a very narrow threshold, he will probably just die. While this is happening, Hehe are putting a lot of heroes in this mid lane, and bottom lane, the Broodmother is getting a lot more control here.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Broodmother becomes a potent threat, but the rockets are going to shoot down a lot of those spiders. Suddenly, Gyrocopter's up to 53 last hits. That's not super reflective of what just happened, but ooh, Silencer gets killed on the Leshrac. The trade in mid already is working pretty nicely. The Pudge died for the first kill, but it still gives Koisinki a stack of intelligence, now up to 2.
Yeah, so slowly but surely, the Silencer is going to be grabbing that int and stealing that int, especially if you get some of that intelligence off of that Shaker. That's really bad.
One more hit, and that's going to be MDL to secure it. Although it delivered its load and MDL is going to die for it, I think the gold trade across the board is worth it for the Bounty Hunter to make that trade. It's not to a hero that you necessarily want to be feeding, but it's going to be really nice for the Gyrocopter and Silencer, especially with
bottom.
Yeah, HWA might get Split Earth, and Split Earth is going to be on the money with the Pulse Nova afterwards. Gyrocopter has nowhere else to run. TP out will save the other support, but that's a good rotation coming out from Scary Faces.
And now Cube wants to intercept Leshrac as he's returning to mid. Looks like new player is now going to start making his rotation in. This is a level 4 Pudge, level 2 Hook. It's really hard to miss it from here. Although he was, I guess, no, that wasn't even blind. He just stopped moving, so he just didn't see that one coming. New player is going to take a lot of damage from his last word, but here's the Hex and Fissure available from Eknart. They don't have a Leshrac spell to cast yet. He's silenced, but now he's able to do so. Looking for the Split Earth, too far away because of the Fissure. They're still on Cube, but they shouldn't be able to kill him off. MDL's up on the high ground. No detection used yet. It'll just be the kill on the Silencer, and new player is going to get away. If he got hooked to there, definitely would have died.
Yeah, it would have been really awkward, but yeah, I don't think Pudge expected Leshrac just to stop. you usually don't, as long as Leshrac doesn't have vision of the Pudge, and he didn't. That's either good game sense or just waiting for the rune in a safer spot. So no matter what, Leshrac will dodge a bullet.
Well, Cube is still hunting. This guy's level 5, actually getting quite a bit of experience, even though he's left the top lane for quite a long time now. He wants new player so badly, and if you're a level 5 Pudge killing off a level 8 hero, and if there's a level 4 Bounty Hunter nearby, you're going to be getting a hell of a lot of experience for the team. We do actually have... Oh, never mind. Okay, Stage's just going to go all the way back to base. We have, again, a position where Hehe are looking for new player, but now Eknart and Shadow are both here as well. Do they know that MDL is here? Seems like they shouldn't. Now they do.
Yeah, looks like they have an inkling. They're going to spot eyes on towards him. Fissure is going to connect. And Dust is going to be thrown, but Dust does not clip the Bounty Hunter. So MDL is going to be able to walk between the Tier 3 and Tier 2 to safety.
It's a little bit of a dangerous place to be for the Bounty Hunter, but hey, he's going to get away. He will be just fine. while this is happening for hehe, bottom lane, Broodmother, she has fed away quite a few Spiderlings. You mentioned before he was at like 50 something CS. Well, now he's at 80 CS, so it is, of course, not worth that much, but the Broodmother Spiderlings onto Nihis right now. Spiderlings should be able to get this kill, and they will. However, into the call down they're going to go. Lots of gold for this Gyro, up to 91 CS. Yeah, it's an expensive kill for the Broodmother, but it's a kill nonetheless.
If he had the flat cannon, he could have finished off the whole army. It actually isn't that bad. He only got like 50 gold or so since it was just a couple of Spiderites. But now the flat cannon comes through. Not going to be lethal on the Spiders. So Broodmother successfully makes a good trade onto the supports. Although previously she has fed a lot. There is going to be a Pudge looking in mid with a Radiant Observer Ward down on the ground and a Dire Observer Ward also. I don't think the Lysrac is going to be caught out.
Dust again is going to be thrown by Eknart, and again will miss on this bounty hunter. Just a little bit too quick for this Shaker. Maybe Shaker should throw the dust a little bit harder next time. But if you look at the state of this game, for the most part, he have been ignoring or just, you know, bypassing this top lane. They're letting the Ember Spirit farm, and State is not a player you want to let farm, and he's not playing a hero you want to let farm. But he's also gone for Boots of Travels, so this Ember Spirit rather, he's sitting comfortably on top lane, you know, 1v0, just happily farming it up. But if shit goes down, he could very easily leave and then crash people with level 4 Flame Guard in whatever lane there is action. So this is a perfect scenario for Scary Faces. If they could hold like this, they're really happy because they're getting more farm faster than hehe, especially on this Ember.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the big benefits of having Ember Spirit is even though he'll join the fight and do a lot of damage with that Flame Guard, he can jump right back with his Remnant if he isn't forced to use that inside the fights. It's a bit of a greedy pickup, as it is punishable by hehe if they actually gank the Ember Spirit, but they haven't.
The global silence, but Ember Spirit does teleport in regardless of that fact. Kind of awkwardly since he can't do anything now and he didn't set up a Remnant to return to. But there are a lot of heroes in this bottom lane now. Do they really just want to straight push it? They do force out the defensive wards from the Shadow Shaman, which is pretty good, I guess. You essentially save a tower and you get a little bit of extra gold. It seems like they want to push. They have no Edict, however, so it's not going to be super quick.
With Broodmother Spiders and a bunch of heroes around, this should fall sooner rather than later. I don't see he defending it since Call Down is not available. It just came off of CV, and Gyrocopter is walking all the way back towards base. This is tier 1 conceded in the favor of Scary Faces. 7-4 is your kill score now, and really it kind of feels like hehe haven't gotten enough. Once they get tracked, that's going to be the crucial timing window for hehe. They need to get some kills then.
Look at where Pudge is right now. He's been here for like the past 2 minutes, and he hasn't killed anyone. I don't know if he's actually thrown out any hooks, but even if he has, they haven't been connecting. And now he's spotted by a random range creep. And, oh, hey, look, State's going to get a kill on the Bounty Hunter up towards top lane all by himself. They're just going to connect on Koziki over in the mid lane. Again, Lysrak's a little bit too far away to follow up from that, but Cube has spent so much time sitting in the mid lane doing not much, and now he's going to get split earthed. And there's another lightning coming up soon, and another fissure in just 2 seconds. He's going to commit suicide, which is great for the Pudge, but they're going to get Eknart in exchange. Glaives are going to connect, and the last word pop will kill out the Shaker. That is a significant int swing.
Yeah, good trade for them, and it's from a hero that you really don't want to lose intelligence. It's an Earthshaker, and this Earthshaker is also going to go Tranquil Boots, so until he has his Soul Ring, his ability to spam out his spells is moot. They'll have the Wand on top of that, but yeah, I really don't like this Tranquil Boots choice this game more than most, since there is a Silencer on the enemy team. Any int you lose is precious.
Getting Arcane Boots for, well, all the spell casting in Scary Faces seems like, ideally it would be the item of choice. Whether or not you could afford it, that's obviously the limiting factor there, but now hehe are going to be moving even further to the south of this map. Cube is going to be spotted by a hell of a lot of spiders, and he'll start rotting them down. Looks like this entire army may be dropping. Cube is collecting quite a lot of gold from it, but now Scary Faces know that pretty much the entirety of hehe, minus the Bounty Hunter who just showed himself on the top lane, are on bottom. And again, State is the one to really heavily benefit from this. He has Travel's Perseverance, and I don't think hehe are going to be able to stop this Ember from getting Battle Fury.
I was calling that hook on the Shaker, but it's not going to connect, so yeah, that seems like it's the real big benefit for Scary Faces, is the Ember Spirit is unpunished entirely. He's gotten 2 kills, and those have mostly just been on heroes as they wander up in towards his lane. I think hehe need to like commit a global and commit a lot of heroes to get that kill, because it's worth it. 100%. State 21 is the highest farmer on Scary Face's side, and one of the scarier heroes if left unchecked. Right now he's only sitting on 1,000 HP, however, so he definitely is killable.
Oh, and right now, State's going to start traveling out. He will get shurikened out of it. Global Silence is there, so he can't put up his shield, but he's not taking that much damage anyway. He will probably be able to survive. No, the Global Silence lasts for just a little bit too long, and the Silencer had a haste rune. That is really what made the difference there. If he didn't have that, he's not able to keep up, and use Global Silence for the Ember Spirit. I was going to say, alternatively, they could just push with these Shadow Shaman and force Scary Faces on the defensive, and it looks like they're going to be doing that at the exact same time. Shaker has pretty much no chance of getting this deny.
Yeah, it's not really fair, Shaker up against 10 Circle Wards, but maybe with some help from the Lash they'll be able to do it. No, Shadow Shaman get the tower destruction. Big turn events for hehe. They need to keep up this aggression, however. Their draft and their heroes, the way they're building them right now, suggests that they want to fight now. They have drums and silencer. Oop.
Found MDL, they're going to inject him and kill him really quickly. And the Gyrocopter only had one flat cannon shot left, and so it looks like it wasn't enough to kill the spiders. Yeah, just Bounty Hunter wandering into a sentry. You know, shit happens as a Bounty Hunter sometimes, but Cube has made his rotation back to the mid lane. He's smoked up again, and this time there's no tower. New player is going to blow the smoke, but doesn't see the Pudge. It doesn't matter. They're going to back off anyway.
Yeah, Cube just hasn't
Did he see the Pudge? He might have.
They have a ward right here, so it's close. I'm not sure, though.
Well, he's going to keep himself alive anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter whether or not he was spotted. He's still going to roam around, this time into a mess of spiders. He's canceling the hook a couple times. Eknart is going to slide to the north and dodge it. I don't think Cube has really landed that many hooks in this game. It feels like he's landed like one in the mid lane.
He hasn't been throwing that many hooks either. There just haven't been those opportunities, and whenever there is like a small opening maybe, he's just not on rhythm, it seems. Cube is behind where he'd like to be.
Bot again. Spiderlings. This is a lot of spiders. Gyrocopter down 200 HP just by one shot volley from these spiderlings, and now Ramses is tracked up, not really where you want to be, and the spiderlings, oh my god, the gold for Gyrocopter is immense. They're going to catch Ramses though, shackle him, hook, that'll get the kill, and the rest of Scary Faces, they're on the Gyrocopter, making it even 1-for-1 so far. Tracks are flying, however, 2 so far. Global Silence not up for another 5 seconds, but here comes State. He's going to try for the chains, cancel off, remember, won't work, but the Echo Slam's going to connect down to 3, that will work. Finally, Global Silence is there, but Ember Spirit, he's still doing a lot of damage, not enough damage to go up against the Silencer, however, with the Glaives, he'll get so much int, and he will get another kill. Silencer is going to get fissured up, Shadowy though wants out, he will get hooked out of it, yes. I thought he left.
He made it back to base, but he got hooked inside the well. It happens if you land it right at the window, and Cube secures it. Easy stack of flesh heap. He did.
Yes. Apparently. I thought I could have sworn he left, and then he just like appeared there, because he wasn't like hooked. You didn't see him getting pulled. You just saw him appear next to the Pudge.
You saw the damage though, and then him appear next to the Pudge. So it hit. Whether Dota thought it hit or not is a different story.
That was like 3 track kills, 4 track kills, something insane like that for hehe.
Yeah, a lot of gold for them. It does cost them a Pudge buyback, but it's totally worth it. Pudge as a hero doesn't really need items. You'd love to have a blink, of course. But a buyback this early on is worth getting those extra flesh heap stacks, and definitely worth the flavor points for getting a fountain hook.
And I don't know what the int count for the Silencer was before that fight, but now he's at plus 14, which is pretty good considering, again, the Shaker really needs his mana pool, and Hell Lion as well. Like, he's at 520 right now. He will maybe even get to a point where he will have to mana drain if he wants to actually use his full combo in succession. They're going to find Ramses with a sentry. MDL looking for the track. Not quite there. However, there it is. Now Ramses is in a lot of trouble with missile flying. Call down is available. He's going to try to fight with the ultimate, but that's not going to work. The missile will squash the bug. Here comes the Ember Spirit. I'm not sure if the Ember Spirit wants a 2v1 here, although he does have a lot of backup right around the corner. Eknar's going to close in, look for a Visor. That'll connect onto this Gyrocopter, but here comes Nihis in response. With the Serpent Wards, he'll try to go for Shadow by himself, and he will drop him super low. Lion's going to get out of there barely, but Leshrac is the one to die up on the north side of the map instead. That is... I guess he just got hooked.
I suppose. Silencer's the one to get the kill, and I didn't see Pudge that close to him on the map. These glaives hurt super hard at this point, adding an extra 95 damage.
Cube, he sees him with the track. He sees a whole bunch of heroes. No. Okay, I think that's a little bit too far. Like, the hook just won't reach.
And even if it did reach, it's Pudge versus 3. I'm not sure if Cube wants to take those odds.
You're Pudge. You just go for it, man.
Fair enough.
Maybe not up against... I mean, you can't really reinforce if you get the hook from that weird angle, because there's no angle, really, for Scary Faces to get down there.
Shaker, because if it's anybody but the Shaker, he just fissure cancels your dismember and you don't have damage.
Well, either way, Cube hasn't really done too much for the first 10 minutes of the game, but Suddenly things are starting to pick up. This silencer is really, really dishing. You know, of course, right now he has double damage runes, so that kind of messes with the math, but he's chunking down this tower, and he's about doing this much damage to the enemy heroes as well. And even though this Ember Spirit has been getting a lot of free farm, Travels and Perseverance, they don't help you fight. They help you to join the fights, at least the Travels do, but he doesn't have any items that actually are useful in a slugfest.
Roshan going to be attempted by Ramses. He has a medallion on the Brood, so they can do this. It's not a fast Rosh, but it's a fairly reliable one with the minus armor, the lifesteal coming out from Brood's ulti. But now that lifesteal is worn off, it's going to cost them a little bit of damage, but they have 1 point recap fight, so Roshan doesn't really stand much of a chance, and hehe aren't in the neighborhood.
Well, they have the sentries as well, so even if there was a bounty hunter coming in, which looks like he may think about going towards, but yeah, it looks like this is just going to be a free Aegis for the Scary Faces side. They have level 2 Edict right now, and they've taken down 2 towers so far. I think tier 1 mid is probably just a gimme for the Scary Faces side, but at this point they've just lost a couple of fights already, and they know that every fight they lose, more strength for the Pudge, more int for the Silencer, and more gold from the track, so Scary Faces trading even is really, really bad. At least numerically trading even is really, really bad for Scary Faces. They need to take decisive wins.
And the decisive win they just got, it's Roshan and a double life for Lishrak. This is going to mean that he has Bloodstone, Power Treads, and Aegis all at the same time. It's pretty much a dream scenario for Lishrak, but maybe not at a dream time. He's a little bit behind pace.
Pudge Illusion going to force out of Fissure, which will get hehe a little bit more of a better read about who's in this mid lane. While everyone from Scary Faces are roshing and hanging around the mid lane, Gyrocopter's starting to pull ahead in the net worth department. 900 gold on top of this Lishrak right now, and he has Sanjin Yasha, drums, and power treads. This guy's actually pretty tanky, and Scary Faces, if they try to commit to kill out the Gyrocopter, they may just end up wasting a little bit too much of their time.
Rotation up towards top from the Shadow Shaman Pudge is going to be spotted out by a Dire Observer Ward, so I doubt this is going to work just by itself, but yeah, right now it feels like he'd have a slight edge, although it is only slight, about 1,000 experience in net worth. Because of the Aegis on Scary Faces, inside a fight, I really don't know how to call it. It really just depends on if the Lishrak gets a good combo off, and Ember Spirit doesn't really want to take engagements right now. All he wants to do is farm his Battle Fury, and that said, he's going to have it in less than 600 gold.
He's farming really aggressively on the enemy side of the map, but then again, Silencer is up towards the top lane. He's pushing that one out, and hitting for 150 a pop at this stage of the game is a lot. Serpent Wards will be deployed. There's one poor sentry ward, Serpent Ward in the back that's not hitting, but yeah, for Scary Faces, they need more than a Shaker to defend against this, and they can't really afford to race. They'll try to race down the bottom lane with Ramses, but it seems like it's going to be a tower claimed by hehe, TP coming in from Lishrak, looking for the deny, looking for some sort of pick-off follow-up. They actually do get the deny. Well played, and it looks like bottom lane will be defended, so not as much gold traded as I thought.
Yeah, and Gyrocopter doesn't get the entire Spider Army, only about half of it with his Flak Cannon, so it could have been worse, definitely, for Scary Faces. HWA is going to fly out a courier towards himself, but Ember Spirit's around the corner, and if they know this Gyrocopter's alone, they're going to go for him. Triple Remnant forward, the damage misses, but still HWA is in a heap of trouble as the chains will connect, and HWA will go down. Despite getting off the call down hook over on the Ramses, that's going to be a death on the Broodmother TP attempt. Going to be cancelled. I believe that was a Shuriken, and now State 21 is in a lot of trouble. He's going to be tracked up with the last word. The last word, he's going to use his Sleight of Fist. Now he's going to be hooked down by the Pudge. More intelligence and more strength for the side of hehe, and 2 track kills.
And that triple remnant jump was an all-in move from the Ember Spirit. I don't really think you have to make that all-in move, since clearly they have enough damage, because he missed with all the damage components of those spirits. If he had a spirit to get out of there, I feel like even with the track, he would have not been able to kill off the Ember Spirit as long as he uses it properly, or they kill off the Broodmother really quickly if they do land the damage on the remnants, and then they just get out before he are able to revive. Regardless, for Scary Faces, getting killed on the Gyrocopter, yeah, that's really nice for them, but that is the steepest cost that they could pay. That is definitely not worth it, since those were also track kills, those were also flesh heap kills, and silencer, I guess, intelligence steal kills.
18 soul intelligence and silencers, 6 flesh heap stacks, and the bounty gold means that trade is by no means worth it for Scary Faces. They'll get the Battle Fury on Ember Spirit, and that's nice and all, but this silencer almost has a Hex.
And this Shadow Shaman has 1500 plus point booster, plus level 11. This is actually a pretty high level for a Shadow Shaman at this stage. Usually they're just, the lowest level heroes in the game, like Lion. He's level 8. That's usually where a Shadow Shaman would be. He's getting his Aghanim Scepter really quickly, and Aghanim Scepter Shadow Shaman is absolutely freaking ridiculous. It pretty much, level 1 Aghanim Serpent Wards are better than level 3 Serpent Wards, which I don't know how that's fair, but it is, and it's really good for, well, fighting or pushing towers or really anything that he want to do. They're looking for a hook, though. Cube sees someone. Oh, yeah, they see him, but Hook is going to miss. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Over-the-hill hooks are always a little bit awkward. They'll eat down the ward, and so Cube isn't going to have that opportunity available again. But even if he doesn't land hooks, he has Blink Dismember, which, as far as initiation goes, is pretty darn good if you isolate a hero. And this Ancient stack is huge for HWA to be stealing. It's not the biggest Ancient stacks, it's only like a triple, but you know what? That's a triple stack that Gyrocopter is not only getting for himself, but also taking away. And Hook lands on the Eknart. He's tracked up as well. Easy track kill for 3. And a Flesh Heap stack. Hehe are getting so many of these injections of value for their team, where Scary Faces are not. The Leshrac is not the scariest of Fleshes, and another jump. One. They'll find the line, excuse me, and that's another track kill.
And even if Cube dies right now, like, he already got 2 track kills. He doesn't really care. It looks like MDL's instead going to be the one who dies. Global Silence is there, but, well, there's no True Sight. Okay, well, you can't get the kill on the Bounty Hunter if you don't have True Sight. It's as simple as that. That's a little bit awkward. Tower's going to drop, and they still could look for a little bit more. Cube has a hook, and they see State with the track. They also see New Player. They obviously want the Leshrac just a little bit more, but now he's out of range. But, man, there's no vision here for Scary Faces. They know that they're seen because of track. Oh, damn, I hate when that happens. But, yeah, Scary Faces, they don't really have any options right now. It's as close as you get to fish in a barrel. Scary Faces are completely blind right now, and there's going to be Pudge Hooks coming. And it's so dangerous right now.
And
oh, man, I don't like where Scary Faces are.
It's very, very threatening. Gyrocopter's putting pressure on their tower, and Scary Faces, even though Global Silence is down, can't really fight since those Serpent Wards are up. And, yeah, this looks like he might just be able to take down this tier 2 tower, and if a single hook lands, and it will, onto the Earthshaker, this fight's pretty much over before it even started. They'll kill off the Shaker, and that's full Guardian Greaves on your Bounty Hunter. That's absurd, 26 minutes into the game, especially considering the slow start. They'll get the Silence and the Hex onto Leshrac. The follow-up damage should be there. He's shackled in place. New Player can do nothing except for Ghost Scepter and try to run. Cooldown is going to be off the mark. He's going to buy himself a little bit of space. Where's the Pudge? There's the hook, and Cube is going to find himself another kill.
They track up the Broodmother as well, so if a single point of damage makes it really awkward for her to disengage from this spot. The Serpent Wards have been firing for, well, the entirety of their duration, and they're pretty much all still up right now. Ember Spirit is going to cut through with the Sleight of Fist, looking for MDL. Injections going to kill on the Bounty Hunter. That's nice for Scary Faces and everything, but they lost the entirety of their bottom lane. They lost, I don't even know how many kills, and again, trading 1-for-1, even if it was a 1-for-1 trade, is not worth it because of the track, the Int Steal, and the Flesh Heap. And that is really stacking up high right now for the Hehe side. Pudge right now has additional 15 strength, and Silencer has stolen 22 intelligence so far. Some of it, at least 2 of those stacks were from the Shaker, and already you can see the effects. He has 390 max mana. He's not doing too hot.
With Soul Ring, he can get off his full kit, so it's not the end of the world for Shaker, but if he gets hooked here by Cube, it very well might be. The Pudge doesn't have sufficient vision to go for that, although if he did, maybe it would have worked out. There's an Ember Spirit in the line that could have, in theory, reinforced. Still, it was more or less like a 1-for-3 plus a triple Ancient stack stolen, plus a tier 2 tower, and a tier 1 tower at that, so Hehe finds so much momentum now. The advantage going their way is now 7,500, and just a couple minutes ago, this game was looking very close, but that's kind of the style of this draft. If they get a couple kills, so much momentum.
You get Flesh Heap when you when you suicide, yeah. So Leshrac
and track gold even, but not the actual gold from the kill. It could have been a lot worse, but it's
such a hollow victory.
Yeah, it really is. All that Leshrac does by denying himself is it takes away a little bit of experience and probably about.
Oh, now Eknart, 3-shot. I mean, it is double damage silencer, so it's kind of not accurate as to his damage output, but yeah. More int for the Silencer and less int for the Shaker. It might actually get to a point in this game where Shaker is not able to cast his combo in succession.
At least not without Soul Ring. Up towards top, Cube is smoked up. Blink Dismember. Ember Spirit caught out. They have a Global Silence, stopping him from doing anything. Hook will connect. Bounty Hunter will secure it with the Shuriken. More strength, more gold, more int as Silencer picks up kill on the right-hand side. This poor supporting cast coming out from Scary Faces are being picked apart. The good news is that Broodmother's bottom will get a tier 2, but it's small consolation. Hehe are balling out of control. GG. That's it.
Okay. Pudge is a good hero, apparently. This game was not
No.
a Pudge game. I mean, it of course had a lot of Pudge action, but this wasn't the he's gonna go everywhere and just terrorize you. It really just was Hehe getting off to a kind of slow start. I don't think it was. I think it was the mid lane really that was the difference here. The Silencer had a really good time against Lestrak, like much better than any Silencer really should.
He didn't crush his lane by any means, but he won his lane, and that's more than anybody expected going into that matchup, especially with so much time from the Lion committed to try and stop the Silencer from doing well, and 10-1 and 3 really shows in his KD. And by the end of that game, the Pudge was an absolute menace. Everybody was on the Hehe side. They all got what they needed, and I don't really blame Scary Faces for calling GG there. It looked like they were in for a really hard show if they wanted to pull that back out, and it felt like they just had enough. So Hehe are going to take it 2-1, and with flavor, too.
Yeah, Scary Faces are now out. It was, yeah, this is one of those games where you know that every single time you die, you're getting, well, obviously you get further behind every single time you die, but in so many metrics, like, usually there's no stat swing. This is like the most brutal, most punishing game of Dota you could possibly play, and I'm actually kind of surprised that it worked from Hehe, but man, I love seeing Pudge, and I love seeing Pudge win. That's the best, because now you know that Hehe will be considering it for their next match.
Thanks for watching here on Pro Dota EN. That's it for the action today, but we'll have more coming out from the Hitbox European Championship coming up soon. Tomorrow, I believe the games will start at 16 CET and another best of 3 series at 19. Big shout out to the sponsors, Alpha Draft, Esport Gaming, Steel Series, Dota 2 Lounge, and that'll round us out for the evening. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you tomorrow.
Later, guys.